The Ten Commandments stand as foundational principles for moral and spiritual living. Given by God to Moses on Mount Sinai, they offer timeless guidance for humanity. These divine laws shape our understanding of righteousness and our relationship with the Creator. They are not merely ancient rules but living principles for a just and fulfilling life. The first commandment, "You shall have no other gods before me," establishes the absolute sovereignty of God. It calls for exclusive devotion, recognizing Him as the sole source of all being and truth. This principle guides our worship and allegiance, directing our hearts solely towards the divine. It reminds us that nothing else should take precedence over our Creator. The second commandment states, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image." This prohibits the creation and worship of idols, whether physical representations or abstract concepts that replace God. It warns against worshiping anything other than the true God. Our reverence must be directed to the unseen, infinite Spirit, not to finite creations. "You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God," is the third commandment. This calls for profound reverence for God's holy name, forbidding its use in vain or for trivial purposes. It extends to respecting all that represents God, including His word and His character. Our speech should reflect honor and respect for the divine. The fourth commandment instructs, "Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy." This command sets aside a day for rest, worship, and reflection, honoring God as the Creator. It provides a rhythm for life, encouraging us to pause from labor and dedicate time to spiritual renewal. Observing the Sabbath fosters a deeper connection with the divine. "Honor your father and your mother" is the fifth commandment, emphasizing respect for parental authority and the family unit. This principle extends to respecting elders and those in authority, recognizing their role in our lives. It promises blessings for obedience and contributes to societal stability. This commandment forms the bedrock of intergenerational respect. The sixth commandment, "You shall not murder," underscores the sanctity of human life. It protects the inherent value and dignity of every individual, created in God's image. This command prohibits intentional killing and promotes a culture of peace and respect for life. It calls us to cherish and protect all human existence. "You shall not commit adultery" is the seventh commandment, upholding the sacred institution of marriage. It calls for faithfulness and purity within marital bonds, protecting the family structure. This principle promotes trust, commitment, and the sanctity of intimate relationships. It safeguards the foundational unit of society. The eighth commandment, "You shall not steal," protects private property and promotes honesty in all dealings. It forbids taking what rightfully belongs to another, whether through overt theft or deceptive practices. This command encourages integrity, fairness, and respect for others' possessions. It builds a foundation of trust within communities. "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor" is the ninth commandment. This calls for truthfulness in speech and testimony, protecting reputations and justice. It prohibits lying, slander, and any form of deception that harms others. Upholding truth is essential for maintaining trust and order in society. The 10th commandment, "You shall not covet," addresses the desires of the heart. It warns against longing for what belongs to others, whether possessions, relationships, or status. This command encourages contentment with what one has and fosters gratitude. It teaches us to guard against envy and cultivate inner peace. The 10 Commandments remain profoundly relevant for all generations. They provide a moral compass, guiding individuals and communities toward righteousness and harmony. By embracing these divine principles, we cultivate a life that honors God and respects humanity. Their wisdom continues to illuminate the path to a just and fulfilling existence.